Will you bow? Lord, thank you for bringing us all to Chattanooga and giving us a great opportunity to do the work of the state of Tennessee on behalf of the hunters and fishermen. Thanks for the safety you've provided us, for the camaraderie we've shared. Thank you for all of that. Please, Lord, give us unity in what we do as a nation, as a state, locally, and in our own lives. With this I pray, amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Danette, would you call the roll, please?
While we're young, Danette. I think Kurt has something you're looking for here.
That's what you're looking for. I don't know what it was up here.
Thank you, Chairman. Dennis Gardner. Here. Jimmy Granberry. Here. Steve Jones. Here. Connie King.
Here.
Jim Ripley.
Here.
Tony Sanders. Here. James Stroud. Here. Kent Woods.
Hello, I'm here.
Tommy Woods. Hank Wright.
Here.
Angie Box.
Here.
Brian McLaren. Kurt Holbert. Here. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Glad I could have that extra copy for you. Commissioners, either on your iPads or in front of you have the copy of last month's meetings. Do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved.
A motion from Commissioner Ripley and a second from Commissioner Granberry, I think. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Director Wilson, give me any announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to speak on behalf of the agency, thanking Commissioner Sanders for the tour, setting up the tour yesterday of the Medal of Honor Heritage Center. That was very patriotic, it's a really cool place to go. If people don't have a chance to go, you should go to that sometime. It's really neat. So thank you for that, Commissioner Sanders.
All right, at this time I'm going to call on Matt Clary, our Region 3 Hunter Ed Coordinator. I'm going to make a presentation. Former Director Carter, we're glad to have you here, and I think it's pretty neat to have this named after you, Hunter Ed. So I think it's a pretty slick move you made way back in the day. So I just thought it was pretty neat that you had that done. You had a lot of stuff done. I mean, that's one of your bigger successes, I'd say.
I'm glad you said that, not me. Thank you, Mr. Commissioner, for introducing me, and thank to the director for inviting me to this meeting. I don't get out to these meetings much, and actually this is my second in-person meeting for the year. I think I broke a record from last year, actually, so it's been nice to see people in person and not just on a screen. But I always like coming to these type meetings mainly because I get to give out things to people that deserve them. And as you know, I'm the Hunter Education Coordinator for Region 3. I've been doing this in this position since '03, so that's 18 so years. And I've seen a lot of changes in our program. Of course, we've had a lot of changes just in the past few months for our program. And it's been interesting, and hopefully we've got some new ideas for the next 5 or 10 years that will help the sportsmen of Tennessee. So But if you can think back to 1996, you know, when I think about it, it's just like 10 years ago. I was a sophomore in college at Tennessee Tech. President Clinton was on his second term, I believe, just starting his second term, whether you like that or not. There was, I believe, a little sporting event down in Atlanta that started called the Olympics that year. Trying to think of some other things, but there was also a decision made by somebody to do something better, more than what he is, more than himself, higher than himself, to try to pass on the tradition of hunting, to try to teach new hunters to be safe and responsible. That's our main goal for our program. And 25 years ago, this person knew that there needed to be somebody out there that could teach them more than what they knew before they walked into that club or that class. And I appreciate the decision that he made back then. I'm not a big numbers guy, but I do know, just looking over his career or his years of volunteering for our agency, he's taught well over 3,500 to 4,000 students, taught at least 2 to 3 classes a year. If you start adding up all those numbers, those hours, those times away from their family, it means a lot to us. And I know we've talked about hunter education as being one of those programs that the volunteers are the backbone of the program. If it wasn't for them, this program wouldn't have gotten started. And I appreciate that. Of course, I get paid every month, twice a week, or twice a month, every 2 weeks to do this job, but the people that I support do it for nothing, so I appreciate that. And I just want to thank this commissioner for being a friend, but also being somebody that's a huge supporter of the agency, has always been that way, and I'm just glad that he was able to support us in another way as a commissioner. And I know his days are numbered, but I appreciate it. And with that, I would like to tell Mr. Commissioner Sanders, Tony, I call him Tony, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time, and I know there's more years to come in our program as well. And with that, I want to congratulate you on your 25 years of service with our hunter education program. If you'll come up.
Mr. Chairman, we've also got Commissioner Sanders a little something in addition to that. It's a little ammo bag. It's got his name on it. So in appreciation of 25 years of dedicated service to hunter education. So we want you to have that as well. So thank you. Thank you. We gotta get a picture.
I reckon I've been tasked with making the next presentation. Kind of hard, though. Director Wilson, you think we've already, don't you feel like we've done enough?
Other awards to this guy.
I know Commissioner Ripley will have something to say about this. He's really been bothered by how much we've honored this guy. But anyway, no, we've got a resolution today from the Southeastern Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, and we've been waiting to hopefully have a meeting where our former director, Ed Carter, could attend. But they've sent us this resolution, wanted us to read it in his honor. Whereas we honor and celebrate the commitment, dedication, and leadership of Ed Carter as he retires from the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency after 49 years of professional experience serving the public in the field of fish and wildlife conservation. And whereas Ed held positions in the divisions of law enforcement, information and education, Region 2 Assistant Manager, Chief of the TWRA Boating Division until March of 2009, when the Commission appointed him as the Executive Director. And whereas Ed, a native of Hawkins County in East Tennessee, is a graduate of the University of Tennessee, a land-grant university in Knoxville, Tennessee that was founded in 1794, a few years before Ed was born. 2 years before Tennessee became the 16th state, where he earned a BS in forestry and a major in wildlife management. And whereas in his early years, Ed was involved in transporting and setting up live wildlife exhibits, which some of them escaped from the trailer, in state and county fairs across the state, and he led the development of the Buffalo Outdoor Education Facility, a state-of-the-art center for many types of outdoor activities, and he was responsible for adding 52,000 acres in wildlife management areas. Some of those we gave back to him. Public hunting areas and fishing areas to the total of over 500,000 such acres in Tennessee. And he was responsible for stocking the first black bear in West Tennessee. That really is in there, Ed. Ed was instrumental in developing innovative funding such as the elk tag rifle. There he is taking credit for the elk tag rifle. The marine fuel tax funding increase and amending the wetlands acquisition bill to include maintenance on TWRA-owned lands. All of these initiatives allowed the TWRA to keep from raising license fees, and he implemented a cutting-edge license system that improved customer service to the state sportsmen and women by making all hunting and fishing licenses available anytime and anywhere. Ed served as the president of the Southeast Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, the president of the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, the chair of CFWA Awards Committee, member of the Joint Task Force for State and Federal Aid, chair of the AFWA Trust Fund Committee, president of the Southern States Boating Law Administrators, president of the National Association of State Boating Law Administrators, and chair of the National Safe Boating Council. Whereas we express our gratitude for his immeasurable contributions in many national conservation initiatives, including the implementation of the Recruitment, Retention, and Reactivation Program in TWRA, Recovering Americans Wildlife Act, and the Pittman-Robertson Modernization Act, and his greatest accomplishments at the national level include his work with the National Association of State Boating Law Administrators and his contribution to the reauthorization of the Wallet-Brew Bill Act. Ed has also received a number of national and state awards and honors, including induction in the National Boating Safety Hall of Fame by the National Safe Boating Council, induction into the TWRA Hunter Education Hall of Fame, receiving the Conservation Partner Award by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, receiving the Environmental Hero Award from former Tennessee Governor Ned McWhirter, and receiving a joint resolution from the Tennessee State Legislature for meritorious service to the state of Tennessee. Now therefore, let it be resolved that the Southeastern Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies, SEFWA, expresses its sincere congratulations to Ed Carter for his years of service, efficient and effective development of wildlife resources, and for his dedication and professionalism in the serving the public, a true quality of the SEFWA organization, adopted by the SEFWA agencies in official session on October the 27th, 2020. So, Director Carter.
I don't know who put all that together. It obviously had to be on a big frame. And I would just have to say, every position I've ever been with in the agency, a lot of the things that are said in here, I was there when it happened, but I obviously didn't do those things. All the people who worked in those programs put those things together, made them happen. I'm just glad to be a part of it, but essentially I always felt like my role was to try to get people what they needed to do their job, and then they did it so well. It's nice to be able to get some credit for the things that they did, but I'll take it. But anyway, it's been a lifetime of pleasure really working with this agency and working with the commissions, as friends and colleagues and all those, and they've been long lasting, and it's something that I'll never forget, and it's been a huge honor for me and my family to be a part of this. But thanks to the Southeastern guys, and thanks to the commission and the staff for all y'all have done, because it's obvious to me that that's where the work comes from, and certainly nothing that I did individually. So thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, could I add something to this while Ed's up there?
I think we're out of time.
You know, I was sitting here thinking, we named a WMA after this guy. Like, I don't know how many acres. Well, how many more awards can a person get? And then I realized, not enough, not enough. You are a fantastic leader, and we are all richer for knowing you, and we appreciate you very much, Ed. So there are not enough awards. We're going to keep giving them. Thank you,
Commissioner. I appreciate it.
You get up here too, turn it around.
Are we ready to, Director Wilson, or we got anything else?
No, that's it.
That's it, okay. Okay, Colonel Darren Ryder, I think we've got you on Zoom. I'm gonna turn this over to you.
Thank you, Chairman Holbert. Is my volume okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So thank you, Commissioner Sanders, for your service in the Hunter Ed program. And of course, congratulations, Director Carter, even though you mentioned Hunter Ed was named after him, Matt Clary, but I still call him Special Ed. So with that being said, before you is Proclamation 2101, which is the taking of Raptors for the purpose of falconry. What this will do at the Commission's approval is the request for your consideration will repeal Proclamation 1801. And what this started out to be was a basic cleanup. And what happened in 2018, we had oversight of the month of take. So if I could go to the next slide. So in section 1, under species limits and dates of taking, again, we were just going to simply fix number 6 and 7, but Thomas, and we greatly appreciate his effort, he absolutely bled all over this. So in actuality, he probably rewrote the whole thing for better verbiage and clarity. So number 3 was rewritten. Hopefully you have the red line copy in front of you, or you've had opportunity to view it. So number 3 is for, he just reworded it for better verbiage and clarity. And number 6 was for the first year birds to be taken. This rule was originally back in 2003 when we first got the falconry rule. And then when we changed it in 18, we had oversight, and it's been August since 2003, but somehow in the 18 proclamation, it got moved to September. So we need to move it back to August. And that's the same for number 7 for kestrels and great horned owls, to move it from the oversight of September to August 15th for the take of those birds. Next slide, please. In section 2, underneath the manner and means, Thomas basically reverbaged both 1 and 2 for better clarity. And then again, in section 3, special regulations, there was new verbiage for sections 1 and 2 for better clarity and language. And then number 3 was actually removed in 2018 and put into the rule for the peregrine falcons. So that's consideration for the commission to pass and approve. And I'll be ready for any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Colonel Ryder. hear a motion to approve the amendment?
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Approve the amendment to Proclamation 18-01, Proclamation 21-01. Are there any questions? Any comment from the public? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Colonel Ryder, and I'll just ask that you move on to the budget expansion, if that's okay.
Sure, yes. So the Boating Law Enforcement Division is asking for a budget expansion. I'll give it a little minute for Rich to pull up the slide. So if you, as a reminder, before the commission in August of 2020 at the budget review meeting, it was discussed about the, when we had our equipment freeze and some of that equipment was taken away. And then what we did at that meeting, we got approval from the commission to buy some patrol boats, some needed patrol boats. But then also in that discussion was the need for basically what we're calling shallow running boats. With the great increase of the paddlecraft, it gives us ability to have a really good platform to have these shallow running boats to work that paddlecraft enforcement. And commission directed to hold that thought and come back at a later date for a budget expansion. And this is what this is today. This expansion is for $186,900. And basically what that's going to do is give a survey each district, law enforcement district, to get their needs. And as it came in, one per district, that ended up being like 4 17.5-foot surface drive boats, 2 18-foot tunnel holes with props, and then 2 18-foot jet drives. And that's kind of our consideration for your approval before you. So I'll be glad to entertain any questions.
Thank you, Colonel Ryder. A motion for discussion? Approve. A motion to approve the budget expansion from Commissioner Granberry. Do I hear a second? Second. Second from Commissioner Box. Is there any discussions or questions for Colonel Ryder or the agency? Commissioner Sanders?
Colonel, you may have said it, but so we're going with, I think the way I'm reading is 3 different types of boats. Was that just based on where they were going and what would be best for that area?
Yes, sir. The 4 surface drive boats, both District 11 and 12, which is Region 1, want that type of platform. And also in Region 3, they want that same type platform. And then in Region 4, they're more in favor of the tunnel hole with a prop drive. And then that leaves Region 2 that want the regular boats with a jet drive engine. So it is district specific.
Commissioner Granberry?
Colonel, who makes these boats?
Well, I've talked in anticipation of y'all's approval today. I talked to Clyde, and trying to, and I know I'm a little ahead of what the agency plan is now that we have the equipment freeze off. I'm sure there's going to be some future equipment expansions, but with that, it'll have to be proprietary. So in essence, the shallow runners, they prefer the XL with the Mud Buddy surface drives. And then the 2 boats in Region 4 and 1 in Region 2, they prefer the G3 platform. And the other one is boy, the name's escaping me, but it's also a jet drive boat. So yeah, there's about 3 different platforms right there that we're considering.
Any other questions? Any comment from the public? All right. All in favor of the budget expansion for $186,900 to purchase shallow running boats, let me know by saying aye.
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 All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Colonel Ryder.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next, well, they've got us down for, down for a Legacy Award update. There were 5 nominations for the Legacy Award. The committee that was decided, or that we voted on, that would decide that, will meet the first week of February and decide who that award will go to. I mentioned to Director Wilson, and I guess I'm looking for a nod of heads, but I feel like the agency should present each one of these 5, since they were nominated by their commissioner, with a small token to just recognize them as being a Legacy Award nominee. And then, of course, the one that's awarded it would get a bigger award. But is everybody good with that? Commissioner Gardner?
I do have one more legacy nominee that's pending, and I still have, still completing the formulation of my write-up, so you can expect one more.
I'm actually counting that one, so, yeah, that was in there. All right, is there a word from anyone? Any other business? Director Wilson?
Just wanted to also thank Commissioner Sanders for hosting us last night at the Highland Sportsman Club, and it was a really cool place. It's historic. It's got a lot of good history behind it. There's the oldest sports clubs like that in the state of Tennessee. It's organized, still in existence. Of course, they also, once again, Ed Carter got an honorary membership out there.
I thought that was supposed to went to you. Yeah. They got confused? Yeah. I do, I'm going to let our Assistant Director, Chris Richardson, come up, and I know probably some folks wondering about duck blinds and where we're at on that process, but Chris, will you just give us a little quick overview on that? You don't have to come up. You've got a microphone, so.
Thank you, Chairman. And I know there probably were some people that maybe tuned in thinking we'd be talking duck blinds. As you all are aware, the rule that we previewed back in Gatlinburg will be up for consideration by the Commission at our February meeting, which will be held at the 18th and 19th. The staff is working very diligently to prepare some additional public-facing information documents for release to the public in advance of that meeting, and our goal is to have that additional information out by February the 1st. So anybody that's interested in duck blinds, the information is coming, and we look forward to getting the comments and the information back on our proposed plan. So we'll continue to work that, Chairman, and we'll have that for you in February.
Thanks, Chris. Commissioner Jones?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I wanted to, while Chris was speaking, I know that the General Assembly is coming back into session, and wanted to get an update. Are there any bills that have been dropped that may impact the Commission or the agency?
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. We're early in that process. The 112th did gavel in last week, only to then gavel out to go into a special session that is probably being concluded as we speak. It then appears that they will do a brief adjournment to move offices and finish their organization. They have appointed all of our standing committees at this point. We have that information. I expect the General Assembly back to work after this special session around February the 8th, and a bill file cutoff date shortly thereafter. We are reviewing the legislation as it comes in, but this is the time of year where a ton of bills get dropped each day, and so we're working through them. I definitely have seen a few bills that would be directly impactful to the agency. Some topics from lifetime licenses to establishing quiet zones on lakes. That one actually has already hit the media a little bit. The idea there would be the Commission would get the authority to establish quiet zones on lakes between the hours of 9 and 9. There's been some complaints, I think, on some of the reservoirs from your party coves and that kind of thing is what's driving that legislation. So it'll be an interesting year. It's hard to know what to expect, but we'll keep on top of the legislation as it comes in, and as soon as the bill file cutoff date comes and goes, I'll be preparing a list for your review so you can see the universe of things that are out there that may affect us.
When is that deadline this year, Chris?
I can't I'm not certain that both chambers have officially said it, but my expectation would be sometime that week of February the 8th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sanders?
Are we still talking about this? Because that's not what I'm talking about.
I don't know. Commissioner Grant?
What's the genesis of the bill relative to lifetime sportsmen?
It would increase eligibility or provide a different price structure for adoptive children in Tennessee. Basically, it would allow those children, I think the intent of the sponsor, and speaking with Senator Farrell Hale from Sumner County area, the intent would be for adopted children in Tennessee to be able to purchase lifetime licenses at the original reduced cost. The idea being that those kids didn't have parents that had an opportunity to buy it for them when they were 3, so this would extend that eligibility to those adoptive children.
Kurt, thank you for adopting me. I may not be the forum to say that, but I just really appreciate you.
Yes. Commissioner Sanders?
Actually, Chris, is there a time limit on that extension?
The draft, if I'm remembering it right, and I've only read it maybe once all the way through, but I believe that the child has to be 14 years of age or younger, and the parent has 3 years from the date of the adoption.
Any other comments on this, on legislatives? Commissioner Gardner?
In reference to that, what is the maximum age you get the lowest rate for a non-adopted child?
I always get this backwards, but I think it has to be purchased before the 3rd birthday.
Okay, so it's the same parameters?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Commissioner Sanders?
I just want to thank everybody. Bobby, thank you for the kind words about the Medal of Honor Museum, which is something I'm very proud to be involved with, as well as, last night at Highland. I do appreciate everybody coming. I hope you had a good time and in talking to the members. Ed, when we were cleaning up, we lost you as the newest member. I don't know where you went. But anyway, we had a really good time and appreciate everybody being there. And I do appreciate everybody coming to Chattanooga that was able to make it. And it's hard to believe it's my next to last meeting, so it's kind of cool to do it here. And I've been excited since it was put on the schedule. We were supposed to be crane hunting, but thanks to a certain wildlife chief, which I will not name, who forgot to tell everybody to apply for tags, we were able to at least do the Medal of Honor Museum for you instead. So thanks.
Joe Benedict will appreciate you not mentioning his name. Any other comment? Commissioner Sanders, again, thank you for all you've done. And it's pretty cool to be able to honor you and see Matt honor you today and being able to be here in Chattanooga. We didn't even know that would be part of it when we scheduled the meeting here, but pretty neat time to be able to do that. And your contribution to this, I don't call it an industry, but to the hunter and fishermen in this state have been great. You still contribute every Saturday morning to the people that get up early, and they can listen to it afterwards. So, but anyway, thanks for all you've done, and it's been an honor serving with you.
Thank you, Kurt.
Is that it? Anybody else? Any comment from the public? I would ask the commission to stay in here for just a few minutes. Executive session, it won't last 15 minutes at the most. So anyway, but thank you, and we're adjourned.